Have you ever had a plan for your life and then life happened and suddenly you have to figure out a completely different way for yourself? This is actually me, and that's how I ended up here. Hello, I'm Myla, and welcome to my very first episode, Tech with Myla. So, before we get into what this podcast is about, the technology, career, AI, and everything else we're going to be talking on this show, I thought it's very important that you actually get to know why I started this podcast. Because honestly, it's not some big master plan. It's it's my own journey, and which is what led to this podcast. I didn't start my journey in tech as a programmer. I actually had a background in business information system, which is what I studied in university. So I have a degree in business information system. So yes, I was honestly connected to technology and business. But let me tell you something. I hated the corporate world so much that I didn't even try to explore the field of getting a job after school. I remember saying, this is definitely not the life I want. I see myself as a businesswoman. I want to do my own thing, not go to some corporate environment and compete. I didn't really know what that alternative would look for like for me, but I believed. So I started to build something for myself. So I approached different companies and suppliers as well on computer, which is something I have a knowledge about. So I know something about computer hardware. So I thought that that's a good field for me. And I reached out to companies and suppliers, which I got some opportunities to supply computers. So I worked alongside with a supplier and I was supplying directly to the company. That was honestly quite an interesting journey looking back at it. I completely was seeing it from a different angle. I didn't even know it was preparing me for something big. And because I was learning business at that point, I was learning on the job. I was dealing with clients and I was understanding what companies actually need. And I think, honestly, looking back, that experience was quite preparing me for what will come later. That is where life happened after. I would say I was very successful in business and it was wonderful. But then life happened to me after some years of running the business. I had some health challenges and that kept me from working or running the business myself for a very long time. I had to be in bed for quite a long time because it was bad. And when you are forced to slow down like that, you start thinking about life in a completely different way. I had medical bills. I have always been financially independent. I I was the one paying for my own bills. So I knew how important it is for me to get up from there and work and make money to pay my bills. But that was really not going to happen anytime soon. So I simply had to start thinking about a lot of options. What can I actually do from home? This was a big thought for me. So I started doing so many kind of research online. Uh I had computers at home, so I was just exploring, researching online, trying to look for opportunities. I wasn't even bothered about what would be impressive. I was just bothered about something I could make money from. I didn't even care about the job title. I was just I was just looking for something. I remember thinking out loud, I'm like, what can I do right now? What can I really do right now from home in my sick bed? And that question honestly changed the direction of my life. So I started researching. I deep dived online, and that was when I discovered the word in executive virtual assistant. And honestly, I didn't realize how much that was possible for me. I think when people hear virtual assistant, sometimes they imagine someone answering emails and managing a calendar. That was how I thought about it. I was like, why would I, what am I going to be doing there just to be checking somebody's email and managing their calendar? And yes, these things can actually be part of it. But the digital world was much bigger than that. There's a whole lot happening in the virtual assistant career. I could work with people from different country. I would learn new tools. I could work remotely. I could build a skill for myself. I could work with businesses. So it meant a whole lot. And it wasn't just about uh, reading emails or managing their calendar. It was like helping running business, managing projects, um, a lot. I was open to a lot of opportunities, and I have explored a lot of skills in the virtual assistant world. I do websites designs. This is something I never was doing when I was running my business. I wouldn't even pick a laptop up and think of that. No, I was just concerned about how much am I selling computer, how much am I making. But then when I went into the virtual assistant world, I started exploring a lot of skills. I was able to help businesses build their website. I was able to help them manage websites. I was able to help manage projects. A lot of digital tools was made available for me. So geography was not even the limitation as I thought it would be. The world became bigger for me. I started with clients from different parts of the world, and there's that experience completely changed how I work right now because I was sitting from where I was and having conversations with wonderful people, great minds, like big businesses, international businesses. And I worked with clients from different parts of the world, different industry, different culture. And this was honestly a wonderful experience because it changed the way I think and the way I thought, like, wow, there's a whole world of opportunity that you don't necessarily see when you're looking at the traditional career path in front of you. And that realization stayed with me for a long time. Immediately, I gained my health back. I was able to get out of bed and do something. And I remember when I was very sick, I said to myself that if I get the opportunity to stand up again, I would honestly travel within Africa because working online, I was connected to a lot of NGOs, and I saw that so many African people are living in Asia. So I wanted to really travel within Africa because that was what I could afford at that time. And I started traveling around, and that changed a lot for me. Traveling honestly changes you. It changed the way you think. You see beautiful people, you see beautiful places, you experience different lifestyles, you hear different stories. You see what is possible for others and also for yourself. as I interacted with different women, because when I travel, I try a lot to interact with a lot of women, and something started to bother me. Not because I think there's anything wrong with them. We are from the part of the world I come from, we are in a shell. Some women are in a shell. And if you are lucky to break out of that shell at a very young age, then that is great for you. For me, I had the opportunity. My mom was honestly in that shell for a long time. She was deprived of a lot of opportunities. So she fought for her daughters to be able to finish school, do better for themselves. So I saw her story and it inspired me a lot. So that made me speak with a lot of women. They choosing family and putting their self behind. I honestly don't see anything wrong with that. Wanting to be a wife, a mother, and choosing your family. But I believe that you can have a career while doing that. That's a very valid choice. But honestly, you have to choose yourself first. What concerns me is not that that choice doesn't really matter. Choice doesn't really exist when a woman grow up believing a certain career aren't for her. Do you get my point now? So when nobody tells her she can work internationally, when nobody tells her she can learn technology, when nobody tells her she can actually build a business, when all she hears is that she can have a family, take care of the family, raise the home. That's her career, and that's her all she can have. That is where the shell I talked about comes in. So when nobody tells her that she can decide her own life for herself, that's where my passion really started becoming clearer to me. Because technology isn't just computer. Technology can mean access. That will be access to education. That will be access to information. That will be access to people. That will be access to jobs. That will be access to a global market. That will be access to opportunities that might not exist physically where you live. And that's what fascinates me because I have experienced a small part of the technology myself. I went from asking myself, what can I do from my bed to actually discovering what can I do from where I am. That's a huge shift. And I don't think enough women are thinking about it. And that's actually where Tech with Myla comes in. I don't want this to be a podcast where I sit pretending to be an ultimate technology expert. No, don't get me wrong. I am also learning. I am exploring too. I am asking questions as well. I want this to be a place where we talk about technology that actually means real people. How is technology changing the way we work? How is technology changing the way we learn? How is AI career changing our lives? Do you actually need to code to work in tech? What skills should you be learning? Do you make technology more accessible? Can you build something for yourself remotely? Now, how do we make sure that people who have traditionally been left out of this conversation get a seat at a table? These are the conversations I want us to have. One of the things I care deeply about is seeing more African women recognize that they can participate in the digital economy. Honestly, I don't want to tell women what their life should look like. I don't want to ever say you have to become a tech woman. No. What I want to say is you should know that you have an option. You should know if you want to build a family, that is honestly beautiful. But you can do that as well and have your options. If you want to build a career, that is beautiful as well. You can do that and have an option. If you want both for yourself, that is wonderful too. If you want to start a business, oh, go for it. If you want to work remotely for a company in another continent, oh, why not? The important thing is that the decision should come from you, not from your lack of exposure or lack of opportunity. It should come from you. So, what should you be expecting from this podcast? What we're going to be talking about here is we're going to be talking about technology. We're going to be talking about AI. We're going to be talking about careers. We're going to be talking about the future of work. But we'll talk about business. We'll talk about learning new skills. We'll talk about realities of working in the digital world. We'll have guests. We will disagree. We will have uncomfortable questions. And something I will probably come here to say is, guys, I don't know if I am right about this, but let's talk about it. Because I don't want this podcast to feel like a classroom. I want it to feel like we're having a conversation. I am also figuring it out too. And I think it's very important to say, I'm not at the end of my journey. I'm still building. I am still learning. I'm preparing for my master's as well. I'm exploring the next chapter of my career, what it will look like. I am going to be sharing part of my journey with you. So if you're going to hear me talking about technology from a distance, you're going to see how I navigate through it myself. If there is one thing I want you to take from this first episode, it is don't let the life you're currently living convince you that it's only the life that is available for you. Sometimes all it takes is one question. For me, the question was, what can I do from my bed? What can I do from here? And that question opened a lot of doors I never knew existed, honestly. Maybe your question is different. Maybe it will be, what else can I do? What else can I learn? What if I change careers? What if I start business? Am I too old to start? Is it too late for me? Can I do this having a family and raising kids? I don't know where your question will take you. But one thing I know is that possibilities begin when you allow yourself to consider something different. And that is where I want Tech with Myla to be about. It should be about technology, opportunity, curiosity, and the people trying to figure out what comes next. Thank you so much for joining my very first episode of Tech with Myla. And if you're willing, please come figure out the future with me. Until next time, stay curious.